okay if you have to say no to like even 5 or 10 or 20 people, but when 400 people are like writing to you, and I've said no to 464 people. Like, I just checked my mail.
Okay.
We should be fine.
Okay, well, let's start, okay?
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Evil O. This is Waswo X Waswo coming to you again from Udaipur. And today I'm talking to somebody very special who has another YouTube channel, who is doing great things with his YouTube channel. In fact, he does so great that I made popcorn for the occasion, because I generally, when I watch his channel, I make popcorn and just enjoy it. And his channel is called Art History Plus.
Yeah.
And this is Mr. Vaibhav Shah. How are you today, Vaibhav?
Today is a Sunday. Today there's no recording, there's no work. It's the whole day I've reserved. I've parked the whole day just for you and my wife in the evening. And yeah, no. So basically, on Sunday we're just working so much on this that Monday to Friday is just back to back artist interviews and like recording, and it's so tough to make these. Don't you find YouTube tough? You run a YouTube channel.
YouTube is very hard, but I take it very casually. I mean, I see this sort of as a little hobby I do on the side, but I do try to get a video up every week.
Yeah, same here. We've
try to keep a schedule.
Yeah, we've created content for maybe the next 2-3 months, but it's just so tough to produce these videos, and there's so much going on, the editorial team and the social media. And I thought Instagram was tough. YouTube is like another level of complications, because YouTube punishes you if you if you don't be regular.
Right. I mean, if you watch the YouTube videos that explain how to have a successful YouTube channel, the thing they stress again and again is post regularly, so people don't forget about you and you stay in their feed. But you're blessed with that very deep, melodious voice, which is sort of your signature. You're a great narrator with that.
Thank you. But that's also the magic of my sound card, Moto M2.
Oh, it is? Okay.
If anybody's listening, I'll just, the sound card makes a hell of a difference.
Well, let's just tell people what you do, because people may not be aware of Art History Plus.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a plug right now. Normally I plug my own channel, but I'll say this time, if you haven't yet subscribe to Art History Plus. It's really fabulous. And what they basically do is they analyze one painting by one generally Indian artist, and they take about 3 to 6 minutes to analyze a painting in a very interesting, sometimes fun, sometimes very emotional way. But it's a good entry into works of art. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, we introduce artworks, one artwork at a time. Actually, I started all of this during the pandemic. My grandmother, my family lives in the US, and they know more about David Hockney and than maybe a Bhupen Khakkar, or they know more about they're Indians, Gujaratis, and they know more about Western art than Indian art in a way. And I just found it strange that why aren't we speaking for ourselves? Why aren't we broadcasting our ideas globally? It's I think we need to do this with the explosion of the internet in India, the way content, and there's very little conscious content that I see being produced. And I thought this is something I can do. I also direct and produce all the films for. I have my past is in artist films. I am from MSU Baroda. I am a painter. I don't do painting that much, but I do drawings and video art. This comes very easy to me in a way, and I'm a very social person. And I, started. I have most of my friends are within the art space. They are mostly artists, writers, and poets, and musicians, and painters, and it came very, the kind of content that I'm making for Artistry Plus comes very naturally to people like us. Because
it shows up in your work that you're not just a journalist. I mean, you obviously have a feeling towards art. And I think in ways sometimes you analyze the paintings better than maybe the artists themselves can. I mean, you really put some thought into what you're saying.
Yeah, I have some really good quality, dense, in-depth conversations with artists about their work for like 1 or 2 hours sometimes. And then what is pressy writing? You compress all of that without losing the point. You retain the core, the essential oil basically of what you extract as much as you can. And YouTube is something nobody's watching 20 minutes, unless you are explaining, breaking down a tech review or something like that, where money is involved. But if you're doing an educational thing, or if you're doing something like Art History Plus, people already have an inferiority complex with regards to understanding art. They feel like they're stupid from the get-go, from the moment they start uh, watching artworks. They feel like, oh, this is high intelligence. Intelligence has been put on a pedestal. Intelligence need not be on a pedestal. I mean,
they see it as high intelligence, or they see it as pretentious and something that's sort of
yeah,
superficial and nothing they want to be
yeah.
concerned
The
about.
journey of an artwork from uh, a bylane in a city or a village to a gallery, that journey with it brings a lot of uh, you know co- notions in people's minds that work has now, because you have a writer writing about it, you have a critic discussing the artwork. They all have their place, and it's very important that that happens. But never forget that the artwork was created in your neighbor's house somewhere, and it has
So,
at its root, it has a very simple idea.
so you very much view your channel's audience as people who are not necessarily involved in the art scene, but people who are not involved in it, that you are possibly trying to interest or lure into a appreciation of art.
Now, so I thought that people who only like art would watch my channel, but it's just been like what, 3 months, 4 months. We have 2,000 subscribers. I have like literally. I was watching the stats the other day. We've touched, I think, 2 lakh, 200,000 viewers, and we've crossed 1,000 hours of watch time on our 3 3 minute films. Like 1,000 hours of watch time, and it's not from only Indians in Bombay, Delhi. It's from, I'm getting we had a Indian based writer who called me from Israel and from America, and from you have Indians in the Emirates, in Dubai. You have Australians, Indians based there. People are like, they, people are watching this globally. Indians globally are accepting this content. The thing, yeah. So I mean, in a way, they feel proud that we no longer are the t-shirt makers of the world. We're not the back end, the call centers. There is intelligent content coming out from India.
Oh, of course,
But the
yeah.
problem is that we don't invest in making icons or role models in India, which I feel like, well, nobody's doing it, but I feel it's very important that the next generation knows who an artist like, I would say, like one of my favorite artists, the work has come out yesterday, Amitesh Srivastava. People should know that guy. Like, people should,
Yeah, that's a fabulous painting. I just watched that
yeah.
last night after
So
it
you have,
premiered, and I was like, wow.
people don't
Um,
know artists like Abir Karmakar, or people, the general population doesn't know Meet Hussein. They don't know these beautiful minds, and I know them, and I just feel like, my very close friends from engineering and all, they'll know random shit about some Bollywood celebrity. I understand, well, that has its own place, but there's no relevance of that in their personal life. But the way Me Too Sane thinks has a direct correlation with maybe your sister's ideas, or your partner's ideas about beauty, about feminism. A very direct line. It's like a software patch in your brain. Once you understand one artist, it kind of like would make you a better person in so many ways, because you start, this is
well,
very, yeah.
people are obviously relating because of the way your channel has just grown so quickly. I think your first video came out about 5 months ago, but you've
400,
already crossed the 2,000
yeah,
subscriber mark.
yeah,
And
that's it.
it's taken me almost 2 years to just cross the 1,000 subscriber
It's tough.
mark.
It's tough.
So I'm very envious, but you have a very different approach, because mine is very personal, is a little bit more long form. But
Yeah,
I think what you're doing makes much more sense. I view my audience more as being like young artists and people in the scene.
yeah,
I'm not really reaching out to people beyond the scene, whereas you're definitely
yeah,
reaching more of a mass audience, and you do it very well. From the first time I watched
yeah,
one of the very first videos that you did,
yeah,
I was just, wow, this is really professionally done. And it's
yeah.
interesting too, you know.
I
I
have,
just
I have,
rewatched the one today on
uh,
what's his name, Ratesh T.
Pratish.
On what was it? There is a girl who committed suicide in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
work or something like that. I mean, that's a brilliant
yeah.
analysis on that.
No, but it's a beautiful piece. It's like I have so many people to thank. On the, 2000 is 2000 subscribers is not a big number for a YouTuber, but
I know.
it's it's the amount of people that come for the art fair at least. So I feel like it's indicative of something, and I feel humbled by it. But uh, I just have so many people to thank. From the first artists who agreed to trust me to talk about their work. Also, I do have a history in interviewing. I've produced over 150 films. I was a director of the Kochi Biennial during Jitish Kalat for the Kochi Muziris Biennial. I make all the films for the India Art Fair. I've done a few projects with Serendipity, and I have interviewed artists for myself as a learning exercise, and then as an archival exercise. As an exercise, you see, I always envied the Art 21, Tate shots, the films. I like the way um, the West respects their artists, locks their ideas, and broadcasts their ideas. And I just find it really sad that uh, people in India, artists in India, are not getting their ideas out there. There's a gated community. There's a wall. It'll come out only via a certain kind of route. And that the artists that I know are like so sweet. They are like just waiting with a megaphone, but they can have very good one-on-one conversations, very good. But they can't, like, even I have a phobia. Like, I have a phobia of going live, on a webinar or something. Like, I have stage fright online. This is very comfortable. I know that you're going to cut it and like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I'm going to cut it.
No, so I'm just saying that this production, doing production like this in my comfort zone, uh, you know, uh, a bounce of ideas. We have 4 writers now. We have 2, 3 people on social media. The team is like about 9 people, 8, 9 people. Nobody's hidden. Everybody's names are out there. I don't intend to keep this. I want to grow the company. It's like
Well, can I ask who actually authors the scripts that you use? Because you script
I,
out your content
yeah,
first.
I no, I do. So basically, we have rotating writers, and we have they're really talented from very young to very senior. Some
Okay.
of them work, some of them work for very prestigious museums, and they're on contract, and they cannot have the names out, so I can't tell you who they are also, because they might lose their primary jobs. But they
Right.
love the channel so much that they're working pro bono for writing scripts. So I do the long form interview, basically long interview, and then it gets, then I be as transparent as possible in narrating it to all the writers and to the whole team. I basically like, uh, I don't put the artists on the spot by putting them on conference call and somebody else listening. I just have this straight up hard talk
I
with them.
find that, the India art community has not utilized YouTube very well at all,
No, because it's so
honestly.
tough. It's so tough to. I know it because I can say the journey of me wanting to do a YouTube channel started 10 years ago in a very shy way, and then I'm psychologically now ready. Even now, like if I post a video, people don't comment on YouTube; they comment to me on WhatsApp. So So people are shy about being on YouTube because
Yeah, that also bothers me. I often get comments on Facebook about my videos, or like you say in messaging or something. It's
yeah,
like, well, comment on YouTube. Get a conversation going on YouTube. And not only does it get a conversation going, but they don't understand that actually helps the videos circulate in YouTube's feed. It works just like
and
Facebook. The
and
more likes and the more comments, the more other people will see it,
and also you get
So
eventually you get paid for it. Like you would be monetized. Like it's so tough to make money on YouTube. I mean, you're an American, so the value of an American click is more than an Indian click. But you are an American based in India, so
I think you have to get up to 10,000 subscribers or something to monetize,
a,
don't
mi-
you?
a million. No, you need it's insane. Yeah, it's insane. But yeah,
In
but
India, I heard it was 10,000,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought I
Yeah.
read that.
And so
Okay.
that's the reason I keep like I use all the mediums just to say the word subscribe, subscribe.
Subscribe, yes.
I sound like
Please subscribe.
I sound like no, I don't even say please anymore. I'm just saying subscribe, subscribe.
I had one person ask me how much it costs to subscribe. I was like, it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah,
You just click the
yeah.
button. That's
So
all you
people,
have to do,
yeah.
you know.
I think
And
I think the Reader's Digest subscription made it so famous, the word subscribe, that people thought that you needed to subscribe and pay a certain amount of money. Yeah, you just press the bloody damn red
But I
button.
mean, I look like Kieran has a YouTube channel, and Gallery Comold has a YouTube channel. Most galleries have a YouTube channel, but it's not that they don't do that much with it. And you
No,
go to those channels, many of the videos are quite old, they're not up to
even
date.
I find the Calcutta-based Experimenter Gallery,
Hmm.
they have a YouTube channel and they have such fantastic content. The curators hub that they do annually, uh,
Right.
it's fantastic. I'm like I've gone up to the gallerist Pratik and I've told him, hey man, thank you, because everybody can't go to Calcutta for that at the same time, and it's a closed group, but he puts it out online for all to see. It has like what 100 views,
Oh no.
and it's like superb content. But I guess people want to watch like Dinjak Puja and like roast videos and like comedy.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think
YouTube has become trash television in a way. I mean, because
I'm guilty of watching a lot of YouTube. I hardly ever actually like do anything other than watch YouTube when I'm just looking for entertainment or
yeah,
wanting to listen to opinions or whatever. So I'm quite a YouTube junkie.
yeah.
And because of that, I suppose I wonder why people aren't utilizing it more. Um, so there was something else I wanted to ask you, but it has slipped my mind right now.
No problem. You can cut it.
Oh, yeah, the numbers of people who watch can be discouraging sometimes. I find that my videos that have done the best are
Yeah,
videos generally where I do an interview with a young artist who just shares it like crazy with all of his friends,
yeah,
WhatsApp it to everybody, and those can go. I mean, I think the record holder is still Indrapamit Roy, who of course has a wide following, and he went well over 2,000 views.
yeah,
And Alec Ball also, I think, got close to 2,000 views. So
yeah,
there are a few who went quite
yeah.
high.
No, so
But,
you see, all these guys are the social. All these guys are the Enthu cutlets. These guys are all the Indra sir. He's my professor. He's
yeah,
very social man. Very social. Very as even as a person. These are. But if you go to an artist who's shy, even off online and offline, in the real world and uh, online offline, you'll basically see that yeah, you're right, it's pretty discouraging sometimes. I love the artwork, and I'll do it for the artwork. And okay, I'm not looking at instant gratification with YouTube.
right.
I'm looking at this like, uh, if I do it at 35, I'm going to only grow old with it.
Yeah,
And I'm looking at it, and I also learned like I I secretly learned some things from the people I worked under, like Bose Krishnamachari, and when I saw Ghulam Muhammad Sheikh. I always feel like these guys gave back to society. They didn't just work on their own career. They worked on their career, but they also gave it back big time. Like some of the most major collaborations that happened for contemporary artists, the younger, is because of the associations that the Kochi Muziris Biennial, because of what Koj has been doing all these, for the last 20 years, the hard work and the connections that these guys make. the ambassador, the consulate general, meetings, the reasons countries talk to each other on cultural, on policy making is very important. And I feel that the new generation, like my generation at 35, using, I'm trying to use YouTube to a point. Let's see where this goes, because this can only go upwards.
It's worth a try. And what I wish would happen, I wish more people got involved in a dialogue about things on YouTube or whatever. I was talking with
Yeah,
a print journalist, some years ago,
yeah,
and there's often this repetitive complaint from the art community that there's not enough art coverage in the newspapers, there's not enough art coverage in the magazines, whatever. And this journalist came out and said, well, you know why it is? Because whenever we print something that's art related, it gets the least amount of clicks, the least amount of shares, and nobody comments. They say even if we post, an article on a sporting event, we'll get a lot of comments. So people will be passionate enough to comment about what they thought about the game.
yeah. Sports.
But if we post something about an artist, nobody says anything. There's no comments. They said, if people just took the time to make some comments, it would encourage the editors to print
But
more of that kind of
I,
material.
yeah, but I also blame the producers of that content, because you need to make professional content that looks serious on the surface level, but also in the designing of the programming of the content itself, the back to back, every, you need to be professional and do a very thorough job at executing the project, because then people also start seeing you more seriously. And I feel like people do it in a very loose way. The way sometimes journalists write about art is just very like, they have like a template. It's like, this fantastic artist is doing this. The person might be doing some really like cutting edge work, but they'll refer to the person as a painter, or they'll give classical terms so that the lowest common denominator can understand it. And
I
so they,
can't tell you how many times the first sentence in my
yeah,
Wikipedia page becomes the first sentence in a feature article.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
just becomes laziness. There's no other word for it,
yeah. And at the same
So
time, you've moved on. Like, uh, I don't know. I people like, I've got very good press because of Art History Plus, and people they just refrain from using the word YouTuber.
mm,
I'm okay with it. Like, I'm finally okay with it, and I'm ready to announce it, that okay, I do art and I'm a YouTuber. But they find it, I mean, I don't know what they think. It's like, we're the press and we are the publishing houses, and every time I'm uploading a video, I press the publish button. So even I'm publishing, so it's like, in a way, i think I think this online, this when people start looking at YouTubers seriously, because for them a YouTuber is somebody who just cracks jokes left, right, center. That's the general assumption of what a YouTube, or they're tech reviewers, or it's a very non-serious space. But once
right,
they know how much money a YouTuber makes a successful, the jaw drops.
right. A PewDiePie or a Joe Rogan or
Yeah, no,
somebody
no, but
like
that's like
that.
super high. That's super high.
Right.
I'm saying, even when, just the act of doing YouTube needs you to be so enterprising and so alive in the brain. There's so many, like, right? I mean, there's like so many beautiful processes in in the way of getting your video out there, from the thumbnail making to the actual scripting to the music. I give all the music myself. Like, I have a massive 88 key piano here, and I produce the music with whatever knowledge I have of producing music. uh, I have freeware, and I've bought some BSTs, and I have original plugins and stuff like that, and I produce the music. It's hard work, but is it sometimes, like, my wife keeps telling me, it's like, I'm having a great time doing it. And now galleries are coming on board, and they're like, we're working. I mean, there's like, I can't release too much information about how the business model is going, but in a way, we're getting like phone calls left, right, center. It's like everybody in a way wants to see how they can uh, eventually make a sale,
Right.
because Art History Plus, in a way, is taking the value of an artwork also up,
Well, of course.
and the reach and the broadcasting capability. Like talking about one work through Art History Plus, and the gallerist doesn't have to talk again. I've taken the entire bulk of talking to 1,000 individuals.
Right. They can just refer a client to Art History Plus's
Yeah, and so I'm,
video.
to be like, yeah, and but I mean, it's a lot of work. So I mean, it takes, there's rents and there's like a lot of tech and there's a lot of stuff like that. But uh, I've put my own money into this currently, and it's expensive. And I imagine I'll break even maybe a long time.
Well, I think you're doing well because you're very focused on what you're doing. You're not like me, who's kind of all over the board, but that's why I like to be. You're very focused on what you're doing, and
During
also you're appealing to more of a pop sensibility without losing the intellectuality behind it. You're managing to walk a thin line there, but you're doing it well. That's what I see.
Yeah, I'm just
You know,
being,
it's like,
I'm just being myself in a way. See, I'm not someone who claims to be a critic or you know, like I might have to say a lot more. I'll need like maybe 40 minutes to talk about an artwork in its full potential and what the artist and me have also discussed. I'm a YouTuber in
okay.
whatever that means now,
Right.
whatever that means. And I am not trying extra hard to put more nuanced words. The natural, what the writers and we jam, the way we discuss artworks, it's an I just open the door, basically. I'm not claiming that you'll understand the entire work through the video. My job is, in a way now, this is all based on the feedback that people have come back and told me, is that people feel comfortable to enter the work. Just enter the work. Now, from where they exit is another thing, but they get very comfortable. They're not intimidated by a wall text, a cryptic wall text. The voice is very. It's like how a friend would introduce you to an artwork.
Right. You ask questions of the viewer, which is wonderful. You ask questions and you make them think.
No, but it's like I'd like to be the friend of, your good friend with who your good friend who has is sat you down very comfortably, non-judgmental, and who's walking you through an artwork, who's very politely saying, look at this corner, look at that corner, have you noticed this in this painting, and this means that and that means that, and this is because I have spoken to the artist. So it's not like these are like all my thoughts. I have spoken to the artist about it. So each video is made in a way in partnership with the artist. So that's why I say I'm a YouTuber and I'm proud of it, because the uh, the ideas are mine, the voice is mine, the text is mine, and the writers, the social media team eventually is Art History Plus, because it's an online project, right? So everybody's in it 50-50. The art from the, my social media team is, in my mind, as important as even the writer, even the artist sometimes, because the artist might have no time. They might have 10 minutes to do the interview,
Right.
but they're very clear about what their artwork is. And then I unravel the artwork and I ask them for permission. I'm like, hey, can I, I see the painting this way. And they mostly 99%, they like my reading of it. And I say,
I also think that's interesting what you touched on, because like we were talking about Jagadish Tamaneni before, and
yeah,
the piece you did on his self-portrait is just
yeah,
so incredible and really
yeah,
brings you in.
yeah,
But when you're dealing with an artist like Jagadish, who's a little hermit-like and isn't necessarily the best communicator,
yeah,
it's really nice when somebody like you can step in and you can like
yeah.
translate that into an
Yeah.
interesting
So
story.
I've spent 2 years with Jagdish. He's my classmate in MSU.
Yeah.
He was my classmate, and he can't communicate in English. But someone who doesn't speak English speaks another language really well. So I've seen him communicate in Andhra,
Telugu.
in Telugu.
Right.
Sorry, yeah, he's from Andhra Pradesh. So in Telugu, and he's cracking jokes. I think he's having a great time. So the problem is he understands that, but he doesn't need Telugu to say what he wants to say. He uses printmaking, and so in that sense, he's very clear. His ideas are fantastic. Like, I think he's one of the most fantastic printmakers I have seen in a long time. In a long,
Yeah, I say he's one of the most fantastic artists
yeah,
because
yeah.
he's more broad than just printmaking.
And I feel, yeah, and I feel like his own mother doesn't know what he's up to. His own family has no clue. So when you make a video on him, and I didn't do it for that, I did it purely because of the artwork, which he shared with me was fantastic, and it was loaded. But the byproduct of that is that his whole family understands that he's doing something amazing.
Right.
And so he calls me, and then then he'll be like, now my own parents understand me. They know how sensitive I am. They look at me as an intelligent, sentient being. They're not like, oh, this guy is a jackass, he doesn't work, he's not getting a job yet, or like, he's doing art. Because people come from different backgrounds, and people look at an artist very differently. But the last thing they think of is intelligence. Artistry Plus, the idea was to basically show you the amazing intelligence and sensitivity within the artwork. I'm not here to make a film on the artist and the biography and all. That's not now. That's later. I do that with the other films, with the long form artist films. This is about understanding the artist's mind via one artwork. That's more than enough. There's an ocean out there. Each artwork has, the guy has been grinding that woodcut for like 6 months.
Right.
You can't watch a 4-minute film to understand what this guy's gone through. And so, I mean, Jagdish got great reception. He broke records. I've never seen a video fly that far.
He has a cult following.
He has a cult.
Jagdish has a large cult following.
He has a cult following.
He really does.
Even Milind Mulik, there's recently a watercolorist based in Pune, like amazing watercolorist, and he has a cult following.
I watched that one too.
It's
a cult following. Was a good one. Yeah.
And he's some videos just explode. It's very easy to just go on Instagram, see who has how many followers, and then make videos on them, and so that your channel goes. But that's not what we're trying to do with Artistry Plus. I just basically, in our general life, I just scan through a regular Facebook, Instagram feed, or YouTube, and on my personal relations. I know mostly artists, so you end up seeing some fantastic works, right? And that's it. Whether they have followers or they don't have followers, the idea is like, imagine 10 years later, imagine 20 years later. It's if even if 10,000 people have seen Jagdish's video, he can't take the painting everywhere, because the painting would be somewhere in Kanoria Center or somebody, in one patron's house or somewhere. It must be locked in. That image is flying around, but the image doesn't say much, and nobody's interested in reading. Nobody's interested in reading text these days. Like audiobooks are doing great, and like everybody wants to. And I find it very natural to talk about a work, and I think it's a great direct medium to communicate.
We're going to have to cut this pretty soon, because you of all people know how people's attention spans are.
Yeah.
We're already over a half hour, I think.
If you have any specific questions, then maybe I have.
Is there anything else you have that you'd like to say? Anything you'd want to communicate other than telling people to watch your channel?
No, you can ask me questions, so that with regards to anything, whether you want to just talk about being art and YouTube, we already covered that. But if you want to ask me any specific, I had asked you if you have any like 5 or 6 questions, major questions that you have prepared or something like that.
I don't know. I don't prepare questions for my talks. They're informal chats. So I've asked you everything.
I had a question for you. Your film is almost ready, by the way, so you can cut this part. But I'm just saying that why is your like?
We don't have to cut that. We don't have to cut it. Yeah, you're doing one on me too. On Chaos in the Palace.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask you, like, how is your name Waswo? It's such an offbeat name, man. Like, who has an X in the middle of their name?
That I don't go into generally. Do you want me to go into it? I will, only for you.
Are you like some BitTorrent founder or something?
No, my family name is Waswo, and I don't give out my original given name anymore because I don't like people to use it.
Yeah.
And in 2001, I decided to double my name. And it started because I'd walked into the National Portrait Gallery in London
Yeah.
with my friend Thomas, and we saw an exhibition by Horst P. Horst,
Yeah.
who was a American German photographer, of course. And during World War II, he decided sounding real German wasn't really good because his first name was something like Gottlieb or something, that was just
Yeah.
very Germanic sounding. So he just doubled his last name and became Horst P. Horst. And I sort of joked and I said, well, if he could be Horst P. Horst, I can be Waswo X Waswo. And then the more I thought about that, I thought, well, that kind of has a ring to it. I kind
Yeah.
of like that. So in
Yeah.
2001, I changed the name. There's more to the story, but I don't want to
Yeah.
go into too much
Yeah.
detail, but that's it. So
That'll be when I'll do your interview. I'll be like, no, you have to go.
that's where Wikipedia has become a real
That
problem, because of course Wikipedia has my real
story.
born name as I was born, and then journalists go and they find that, and then they always start their
Yeah.
articles out with Waswo X Waswo born, and then they give my real name, and I don't want my real name out there.
No, but you can go
So
to Wikipedia and take it off. Like,
no, that's not so easy to do, actually.
oh,
Not so easy. Once it's up there, it's very hard. And they have formats on Wikipedia, and I believe everybody needs to have their real name up there.
hmm.
So even Lady Gaga has her real name up there somewhere.
Lady Gaga. Oh yeah. What?
Yeah,
Even Prince would have his name up there.
I think so.
Isn't it?
You'll have to do a quick Google and find out.
Yeah, yeah. Not bad. So you have any other questions? Like, do you have anything? I'd if I'd say I'd like to. If you ask me, what do I want to talk about? I'd say I think the subject of uh being on this uh, uh like people keep asking me, now people are messaging my email ID, the Art History Plus email ID is out there, so people keep uh calling and saying, hey, do my work, do my work, feature me. So in a way our email gets flooded with emails with their image, high definition images of people saying, hey, do my work, feature me. And mostly it's something like, it might be a doodle. It ranges from something as simple as just a doodle to uh, some religious paintings. And like, I just want to tell people that just put your work out there for all to see. We'll find you. It's like, uh, please come meet us halfway. It's like, if you come straight to us and ask us to feature, it becomes tough for us to say no, but we will say no. But all the artists that we feature in a way have worked on their persona, have worked on their careers, have treated themselves with full respect, and have made sure that they shine bright, and they have reached a certain place on their own accord, and they're very proudly displaying their works in professional spaces. And these are the kinds of artists that, it's not all of them. Okay, there are some college students, the next 6 7 films that we're making are not famous at all. And by fame, I don't mean like they're like super famous. They might have, some of them have like 200 followers, super famous guys. Some of them don't have social media presence. But I'm it's just, I'd like to take the chance to tell people that that's not how we select people. It's not like you can just call up and say, feature me. um, yes, the decision, it's like an executive decision. I do take that decision, but don't hold me against it. We get hate mail saying, hey, why aren't you featuring me? I want to be featured. We reserve the right of having those conversations with professional gigs that actually pay for sponsored videos. The ones that we do are our own, from our own curation, are videos that are artworks that you would never see in an art gallery. Is stuff that we think there's a lot of value in this artwork, and it has a story, it has a narrative. See, you cannot just send like a Radha Krishna painting or a Ganpati. People do that. People are sending tattoos, and like
Right,
people
right.
are sending like, and everything is art today. Everything is high art. Everything is not just art in their own mind. Everything is high art. So I want to like all the people
Well,
who
they don't understand. And
all
one thing that's driven me crazy ever since I circulated my print collection in
yeah,
India and traveled it,
yeah,
I got pegged as a collector, not just an artist. And I don't know why, but to this day, people on Facebook message me,
yeah,
Instagram, oh, can I send you your work, sir?
yeah,
Dear sir, can I please send you my
yeah,
work? I want your opinion on my work. And it puts me in a spot, and I don't know how, because I don't want to be rude, but
yeah.
at the same time, well, if I say that I like the work, then many times it's followed up with, well, could you add it to your collection, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And then how do you tell somebody that you don't relate to their work? You
Yeah, no,
know,
it's okay. Yeah, I
it
totally get
becomes
it.
difficult, you know?
It's okay if you have to say no to like, even 5 or 10 or 20 people. But when 400 people are like writing to you, and, I've said no to 464 people. Like, I just checked my mail. I've said, I don't have space to even hold on to that email. I have to delete it because Google Drive, it fills up. People are sending the application. We're not open for applications. People send high definition TIFF files to us.
Oh, that drives me crazy. I always tell people, I say, please first send a low res image for me to see. If I want a
Please,
large image, then I will ask for it.
yeah, it'll
But
be
don't make me download 25 megabyte images if you
25.
want to show me something,
You're lucky.
you
It's like,
know.
if you can start the film with this, I'm requesting all the 450 people we have already said no to. Really apologize. And if you're listening to this, please do not send 50 MB TIFF files in the application project. We're using the free version of Gmail, and we don't have space. And we like, I say no to 3 people in a day for something or the other. I have no emotions anymore. It makes you cold, right? And I don't. I'm not that kind of person. Like, it hurts me if people send Ganpati paintings or Radha Krishna paintings, and people send like really good narrative works too. Uh, but they won't write anything, and they'll be
That
like,
means if you're
well,
receiving Ganpati paintings and things,
no, but people will
it
be
means
like,
you're reaching more pop audience,
people
you
will
know.
people will send the narrative
So
paintings, and they'll be like, go figure, tell us what it means. I'm like,
right.
this is not a quiz. um, yeah, this is. It's good. But we have some really interesting content coming up, by the way. Very soon I've been asked to show my beautiful face and come bring my face on camera and start
I
that.
told you had a beautiful voice. I didn't tell you had a beautiful face, but you do have a nice sense of style.
Yeah, thank you. But I don't know if that's a full time thing now. Coming on showing your face and like recording in 4K and like handling all that footage. That's another thing. Maybe I do it, maybe I don't. But I I'm working towards my art career. This was a pandemic project, which has actually now, I thought, I thought I'll be doing like 10 and then taking a break. And then I'll get like maybe 100 people to subscribe. But in the last 3 months, it's gone from like zero to 1,000, 2,000. And when you have like over like 2.5, 2 lakh impressions, and like, the viewership has gone up. Like, people are like binge watching. You've got popcorn out. People call me.
Popcorn for Art
Yeah,
History Plus. Watch them all, one sitting. I strongly advise it.
yeah. People call me. They're like, on Sunday, just today, somebody called me and they said, I saw the entire playlist. It's fantastic. Uh, and they've written to me on WhatsApp, and I'm like, just go to YouTube and comment on YouTube, man.
Right.
WhatsApp is WhatsApp is by Facebook. The thing is, in Hindi, it's like YouTube से पैसा आता है, Facebook से पैसा जाता है. So please watch the content on YouTube.
Like
Comment.
it on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, and comment on YouTube because it'll help it circulate and be seen more.
Yes.
If you comment on Facebook or Instagram, it
So
doesn't do anything. It doesn't help.
yeah, every time it doesn't help, and there are a lot of people. This is all like a mini office is working for Art History Plus of 8 people. It's really tough to produce the whole thing. I direct it and I bring it together. I'm looking straight in the camera while saying this. I'm saying, please stop sending images on our email. I'm not going to say my email ID also because people might send it. We'll we It's our aim is to bring Indian artists and broadcast their ideas globally. Meet us halfway. Make an effort to shine a little bit, and we'll find you in that. Like, that's all I want to say. And
Okay, I have to end this. It's getting too long. But this was very nice, Vaibhav. I really enjoyed the talk. I'll throw in a couple of screenshots from the videos,
yeah,
you know, to
yeah,
illustrate this a little bit, to
I
break it up a little bit.
yeah. If you can just send me like a clipping, I'll put on Instagram too and push your channel and like
Yeah, I'll do that.
we'll cross pollinate. If
Okay,
you
let me say goodbye and then we'll talk the details, okay?
cool.
So thank you everybody for joining Evil O. This is Waswo X Waswo with Vaibhav Shah. And I didn't ask where you're located. Mumbai, correct?
I'm online.
Oh, you're online. You're just in the cloud. Okay.
No,
Bye
because
till next time. What?
no, the whole team is somebody is abroad, somebody is here.
Okay.
It's not an India project. It's
Goodbye from Evil O. Say goodbye, Vaibhav.
please goodbye and thank you.